Okay, guys, what's going on? I'm just going to do a really quick one today. I wasn't on too much today, just from about 9 a.m. my time and on. So, uh, yeah, so let's go through it. First of all, we just look at, we've been down, and today we had a nice continuation of that down. But ultimately, what I'm seeing is that we're pulling liquidity up here. You can see all these daily highs are just sitting there waiting, and which is good, right? Structure, that's what you would anticipate structure until we hit a significant liquidity pool, which I believe we did. So we have daily lows that have got rinsed. We got yesterday's low that got rinsed. We had a weekly low right here, I believe it was. Yeah, it was right here. Weekly low. And then here, let me actually just turn it on here so you can see there was another weekly low right here. Okay. And yeah, ultimately, I think that after we run all those weekly lows, like, I mean, it's not going to go down forever. It's not going to run in all the way down here and with one quick sweep, right? We swept 1, 2, 3, 4 liquidity pools, and so because of that, price is likely to go up. Additionally, what I was seeing right here was that this is where we were in. Let me just turn off all of that, and you can see that we're basically in this leg, right? We're in this last order block, essentially, right? The last down candle before the up move, we come back down, touch into it, come back down in again. So I'm not saying that this is going to fly up to the moon. It might not, right? It might just come back up to here and then come back down, or it might just go up to here and come back down. We don't know yet. But what I'm saying is that we're in this level. So let's go and try and refine it down to as best we can. Well, again, we have this level right here, right? This last down candle before the up move. We tag it, come back up. So really anywhere in this level can be, or is going to be, a strong area. Now, especially because it's sponsored by such significant lows, I mean, this is a good area to look at for longs. Essentially what I did was I had this, and then I just managed it to here because I didn't think it was going to dig any deeper into that. So I just put it like this. And yeah, and that was it. That's literally all I did. And I even actually mitigated it or moved it a little bit down like that. But anyways, that's okay. So what ends up happening is we have this down move for the day. We have this clean leg now. And then this is where I caught just a quick trade. And I'll show you how I did it and how I could have done better with it, essentially. So let's see. We have these sweeps. I'm just going to label them as sweeps. And actually, let's go down to the 15 minutes so you can see, because London had just a beautiful, beautiful setup where we had Asian range right here. Obviously, yesterday we were looking at these longs right here after sweeping a weekly low right there, had these longs right here, boom, right? And then continuation, boom. Where to? Well, here was really this was the level right here, the interesting level that caused the break in structure, right? If you go to a higher time frame, I believe it's the 1 hour. Yeah, you can see right here that we mitigated off of the breaker block right here. And then this consolidation was the one that led to breaking of structure. And you can see a big, big wick. So this is where the sweeps and the rejections are happening in these wicks. So there's likely to be some kind of refined levels in there. And as you know, I think in yesterday's video, we talked about this level here. Okay, where this is where my take profit was for the longs, right? Is going to be right in there. We have a nice inducement. We have super nice inducement, and that's going to continue on. This was London highs. I was actually anticipating that it could potentially run and come up and sweep them still. However, obviously just playing structure, you can't just ignore that because we have a sweep on liquidity there. And then really it's this one right here. That's the break in structure, right? So we had a sweep on liquidity, break in structure, inducing that level. And so I wanted to see how price was reacting here. You can see, right, we get a sweep, we break down, we mitigate that last order block that was induced by this one right here, fill up any imbalance that was in there. And then basically we just continue down. Now, what happens in Asia, we start consolidating, Frankfurt opens up, comes down. London starts its sweep, but it doesn't sweep Asia highs. It sweeps right into this block right here, right into that block. If we go down to the 5 minute, let's see, you can see it's just a beautiful one that swept structure or swept liquidity right there. It also mitigated out of a block right here, okay, which that mitigated out of this breaker. So you can see that the order flow is clearly bearish, and each level where you would anticipate has been mitigated. Then right here, we have our inducement, right? Again, London sweep, classic. This is a classic play right here, right 2:30 in the morning. Like we said, I've said it a million times, between like 2:30 and 3:30, like that's really when we want to see the sweeps happening. If it's in our POI right there, I mean, look at that. We get the sweep. So we sweep this high, again, break this low. So now this is the new structural high right here. I would put my stop honestly above this one, just in case it wicks through. Personally, if I were trading that, let's see if we have, I mean, you don't even have to refine that though, guys. I mean, that's about as nice, as good as you want, right? If you didn't catch the first one up into this zone, right, which I believe it's like 50%, yeah. I would have honestly entered, if I were trading this, I would have put my limit just above this inducement here, just right there. And there you go. I'd probably put it at 3R, or sorry, 3-1, targeting the previous day lows, other day lows, and just see how it reacts here, right? Because again, it's about the reaction at these levels as opposed to, oh, it's a daily low and therefore it should go up from here. No, that's not the case. We have to wait how structure develops. And look what happens here. Look at how price develops once it sweeps this level, right? We have this low and then we sweep again. So if you took this one here, I mean, it's not a bad trade, right? It's not a bad trade. But what happens here is we sweep up again. We failed to really close above, right? We closed, immediately consumed, and we left an order block here. And we mitigated this 15-minute block, which mitigated this 15-minute block, and so on and so forth. But anyways, it mitigates that, comes down for one last sweep. And look at how this looks, right? This was the level right there. Beautiful sweep right there. We break structure right here. We dabbled back down into it. And then we had some order flow going on here on the internals that I was really liking, but I just didn't enter because I didn't have a good place to put my stop. I actually entered right here, right on this here, and I caught this up to here, and it was just a quick 2R. And I said, you know what, I'm just gonna close it out, and I'll wait for a pullback deeper into the zone, and then I'll hold these for longer. Unfortunately, we just didn't get that. So yeah, it was my fault, but it's all good. It is what it is. But anyways, yeah. So if you didn't catch this one, just going back to London here quick, if you didn't catch this one, then you wait for the break of structure right here, and then come back up into here, right? This is really your last up candle right here. High probability order block right there. So you could have entered right off there, put your stop above the highs there, and then boom. And let's see if we have any good targets for these with the fib. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Use this one. Let's see if we have any good targets. So look at that. So the -1 lines up perfectly underneath this liquidity pool, right? The -1.5 lines up underneath this liquidity pool, and then -2 right at this liquidity pool, -2.5 under the liquidity pool, right? That's what we want to see, targets underneath liquidity pool. And you can see that it respected that beautifully. It's also in that higher time frame level, level of interest after, you know, some serious sweeps. Okay. And again, just so it's super clear, right? If you're going long here, just like, remember what I said over here from yesterday. If we were going long from here, where am I targeting? Well, I'm looking at higher time frame levels that are super, super, super clear, and filling some inefficiencies, right? So there's definitely, you can see that we have some, or was it inefficiencies on the 1 hour that we can fill. We have this rejection block up here that we could come and fill. So those are going to be my targets. And likewise, the same thing right over here is that even on the 4 hour, right, you can see, well, where's my targets? Well, first of all, we have this big block in here, right? So it doesn't have to go up and fill all the way up into here, right? It can target right here, or it can stop right at the front of this block, cause another sweep before going up or something like that. But one of the things that I was looking at was this, right? This imbalance right here, 50% of that imbalance is right where price is right now. And it also lines up like this. So this was my first level of interest for targets. And then the rest I was going to hold. Personally, I was going to hold because I wanted to see if we can come back up and take these highs for FOMC. because I have a feeling for FOMC, all this in this weekly trend so far is just going to be the inducement for catching people short and wiping everyone out, fill an imbalance up here, and then we start coming back down. That would be the ideal play for me personally. That's what I would really, really like to see. So anyways, we know that this is going to be a main level for long targets. And you can see even on the 15-minute, we have a gap here as well. Right? Nice little gap here, nice little order blocks here. So this would be my first target personally, if I were still in this trade. Just get out partial, no problem there. And then the rest I would try and hold because I think this does have some pretty big upside potential to be totally fair. But yeah. What else did I want to show you? Oh yeah. Okay. So here, this is a great example of some order flow. And this is what I was looking at. And I actually was looking at something to get in right here, but just missed it. Or just missed it there. So here we go. We have this down candle, right? And it gets respected. Sure, wicks go through whatever, but the actual body's closed within, right? So this is still valid. Okay. Same thing right here. The next one, right? The next one that gets mitigated is this last down candle. We break above it. We get in between it and we close above, we close above the 50% and close within it. Okay. Boom. The next one. Here's the last down candle. We tag it and we go, right? That's the one that was really like the propulsion, the one that we just bounced off of and went. But you can see there that we had this bullish order flow on the 15-minute as it was developing. And that was something I was incredibly aware of, which is why initially I was looking at something like this. Okay, let me show you. After this sweep here, actually, first off, let me show you my first trade. Sorry, I'm a little scattered right now. Let me show you my first trade. This was the 15-minute structural high. I knew that it was very, very likely that this gets broken. Right after this sweep, I knew very likely we break that high. So what ended up happening here was, see this breaker block right here? We had this breaker block, and then at the same time, we had this little imbalance within it, plus a little order block. What I did was I just entered right off that. I was just like, I don't want to wait for it to come back down here because it might not. So I just entered right. See this as soon as it closed above, I entered right here and I put my stop just under here. And then I took a little it was like 2R, I think, actually at the end of it all, because I closed like 50% and then I saw it get rejected and then it came back up and then I closed the rest and I closed the rest around here. So it ended up being about, I think it ended up being about 2R. So 2 and a bit. Yeah, about 2R or so. Anyways, so my idea after that was that, listen, I think it's going to come back down below this low, potentially dabble back down into this level. And so what I was planning on doing was just set it, or I have my order actually just set right here, right at this imbalance right here, so as to not be too greedy, which I ended up ultimately being too greedy anyways. So I was looking at that and right at this level. But as soon as it swept like this and it mitigated off of this order block and it used this as an inducement, and I saw it rejecting here, and then I saw also the 5 and the 15-minute right here, right? If I just go back to it right here, right? Once I saw that this was the high probability order block right here, after we started getting above it, boom, just like that. So as soon as that one got above it, I was like, oh shit, okay. I was looking at it right here. And I was like, I was really, really wanting to get in long, but I just had nothing that fit my entry criteria. And again, I just don't want to force anything that doesn't fit my personal entry criteria. And so in this case, there was nothing that fit for me, but I mean, the order flow was just perfect. You can see even on the smaller, or on the 1 minute here, right? We have this sweep. What ends up happening? We have this last down candle, gets mitigated. You can see we had a little bit of a sweep here, mitigated, closed above this one, mitigated. So we were just really making some really nice order flow here. You can see it's respecting, nothing out of the ordinary is happening. And then we get one last sweep down. And then this is where I was looking to enter, but I just didn't get tagged in. I was looking at this right here, guys. Okay, so just right here, right? We got that sweep, and I knew that the order flow was up, and I knew my target was all the way up here. So I said, hey, if I can get a decent trade, like something like this, nice 3-pip stop or something, I know that my first target alone is going to be all the way up to here at the 29.50. So I thought that that would have been a good level. I didn't get tagged. I know it did here, but that's super weird. Mine didn't get tagged on my actual account. So that's kind of silly. I don't know why. But anyways, it's all good. It got tagged on this broker. My broker didn't tag. But yeah, you can just see that it was following good logic, and it would have been a good trade regardless. I know I was looking at this little imbalance as well, because it was, again, induced there right into that POI. And then, so yeah, probably partialing out right there. I was actually looking at potentially a reversal right there until I looked at the higher time frame. Then I was like, oh shit, dude, this has potential to just absolutely rip. But yeah, at least up to there. And so that's exactly what happened. That's where we're at now. So again, that's pretty much it. I mean, this one, oh, that actually bums me out that it got tagged in here, and on my broker it didn't. But yeah, you can see here, right? We break above this one. So now we have so much order flow confluence in and around this level, right? So as soon as we break above it, we come back down. We get tagged, or it shows evidence that this is going to hold, right? We're rejecting within it. It breaks back up. As soon as this one breaks right here, well, then this body can be used. So again, if you didn't enter there, then you could have played the order flow game just like that and just had a nice 2R right there. Again, if you want to refine that, you can definitely refine that probably, or let's see if you can actually. Yeah, I would have probably just refined it to this breaker block right here. So then my stop would have been just below there, get a little bit tighter of a stop, and then you can get a nice 4 or 5R instead. So that was ideally how it would have been played today. I woke up super late. Like I was having some serious pains again yesterday. I don't know if it's from the COVID shit still or whatever, but I was having some serious pains, and so I was up to like 4 a.m, and then all of a sudden, I just couldn't sleep, and then I woke up today at, I think it was 9:10. So I saw this and I saw the sweep, and immediately I was like, okay, I want to enter on this right now. And so I literally entered right there. And then it hit this high, and then I was like, you know what? I'll take profits. I'll take my trade off, just because I know that it's very likely that we're going to correct way back down. And I wasn't too sure if this was going to hold, because there was still this imbalance and stuff down here. But yeah, really, as soon as we broke this high here, I could have been, and then obviously with the order flow, I could have been much more confident in this 2-minute block holding right here, that 2-minute breaker, and continuing up. And you can see it was used really nicely. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't the best day, but still a profitable day. Just a quick 2R. Obviously I want to be doing better, but again, because I slept in and stuff, I was just so like, I was just trying to react as quickly as possible. So it is what it is, guys. I honestly think that this is going to absolutely zoom right now. I don't think it's going to be stopping here. I think all of this is going to get absolutely swept. Maybe not all of it, but at least, a couple of these highs, I think. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I hope that was super helpful today, guys. We have, okay. So you can see here that this was the anticipation of the morning. Like, this is when I got, like, literally right when I got on here, I was just saying, we had some divergence on dollar index. We had a nice target up there. I said that it would probably come back down to this 275 level and continue up. So look, clearly pushed to rebalance, just missed my POI for the entry. I told you I personally closed my scalp, but I was looking for another entry, right? I closed that at 2R, and then and then I set it up like this, where I thought that this was potentially going to be the inducement coming down from here if this broke, but it didn't break. And then, like I said, higher time frame is still up until at least this level. Like I pointed out earlier in the video, that at least it's going to come back up to there. There's a nice imbalance up there. So we'll see if it's going to continue down. It's going to be continuing down from there. Again, it was starting to hold. Right here is when I started to see the bullish order flow, and I was like, shit, I should be in. I got to be in on that. And then, then it ripped up, and I said, you know what? The 15-minute order flow held. I didn't get in. Can't catch them all. It is what it is. So yeah, and it announced the winner today of the one-on-one session. So that's cool. And then what else did we do today? Oh yeah, little update about what's going to come up in the future here. Again, what I think I'm going to be looking for the coming days. And then also, I know a bunch of people were asking me about the daily cycles and everything like that. And so basically, I just showed you, gave you kind of a little insight of how I marked off my days. I didn't tell you much about it because I don't want to give it anything away about the actual cycles. But this is how I log all my days for the daily cycles. Like the homework assignment that I gave was that is like this. Okay, you mark out the Asian range, the session kill zones, and you see how they react with one another. You mark out any higher time frame liquidity pools, daily low, weekly low, monthly low, whatever, significant swings, swing point lows, stuff like that, and you see how they react at those levels. And you can see that this was an example of today, right? This is it. There was nothing else that I do, but this is how I mark up my charts, and then I put them into a folder, and I categorize them, right, as a downtrending day or an uptrending day or consolidation day. And then after I have a folder that has over 200 or 300, I think it's actually 500 now, actually, days that I go back on the 15-minute, and I just have them categorized as down. Like now I have different types of daily cycles that I look at. But so I labeled them, a type 1 cycle, type 1, type 2, type 3, whatever, bullish, bearish, consolidation cycle. And then that's it. But the way that I did it was simply doing this, marking up my charts like this, grouping them or throwing them into a folder. And then after I have 100, 200 different cycles, I can categorize them and say, okay, all the bullish cycles have this, or there's a couple variations of a bullish cycle. It either does this, or it does this, or it does this. These are the parameters that I can use to capitalize on them when this happens and when this doesn't happen, right? And that's it. It's as simple as that. But I'm not going to give away all the daily cycles and stuff that I know. A lot of that information is privileged information anyways. Like a lot of it is stuff that I did myself. It's also stuff that I learned in addition to other like mentorships from like ICT and also some other things I learned from other people that I don't want to be giving away as well. So everything kind of added together, having all those things put together. But really the basis of it was this, right? Was getting all the folder full of daily cycles and grouping them. Same thing with weekly cycles, right? The same thing with weekly cycles. You do the exact same thing. Go through the weeks, label them in their days of the week, which part made the high of the week, which part made the low of the week, and boom, then you're good, right? Anyways, so that's basically it. Just some timings, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Appreciate you guys. And again, sorry, it was a little bit quick today and a little bit rushed. I just wanted to get this done. And then, cause I got some other stuff going on right now. I just wanted to get this to you guys. Also, I just realized we hit 300 subs in Telegram. So awesome. Thank you guys so much. I just did a giveaway for the free one-on-one, but there's going to be some more stuff in the future. So thanks again, guys, so much. I hope you got some value out of this. Let me know in the comments if you did, and definitely subscribe if you want to see some more, and let me know because I love the comments coming in. They've been super amazing. So thank you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow. Again, tomorrow's FOMC. Be safe. Okay, be safe. Protect your capital. If especially for the news event, it can absolutely destroy you on sweeping, and obviously you don't want that. Okay, so yep. I'll check you guys later. All right. Cheers.